Hi, welcome to HT Dialogues. I'm Shivani Singh. Today I have a group of experts to discuss the important issue of how to support your children now that schools are opening up, how to enable them to return to school during COVID-19. I have an esteemed panel with me. I have Dr. Rajesh Hassija, who's the director and principal of Indraprastha International School in Dwarka. I have Ms.Swarnima Luthra, who is the principal of ASN Senior Secondary School in Mayur, Vihar. Dr.Jyoti Rishi, who is a child psychologist from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. Ms. Swati Vats, who is the president of Podar Education Network. And Ms. Swati Bhutia, who is the parent of a school-going girl. Welcome to you. Yeah. I'll start with you, Sweta. Now that schools are reopening in a phased manner, what are the biggest concerns for parents as, children are returning to school?
Definitely, first of all, because of COVID, everyone is in anxiety how the schools will reopen and how the things will be, how the children will cope up. Like mine is in ninth standard, so that's not a big concern. But if we come to the young children, whether they will wear the mask, whether the sanitization will be done properly, how they will maintain the social distancing, how they will cope up with the emotional challenges also. And the routine is also very much disturbed because they are at home, so sleeping late and waking up late. So these are the things really being will be a challenge for a parent. So with any age group of kids, but
Yes.
definitely look forward for a positive approach. We can always find it out. I feel, Shivan.
Absolutely. I'm sure the schools are doing their bit, and I like to bring in Dr. Hassija here. It's been some time since the school reopened for the senior classes. So, what has your experience been?
School reopened, yes, in the last week of January 21, and then in the first week of February for classes 9th and 11th. As far as if I talk about Indraprastha schools, I say it's a very, very encouraging response. I'm having almost about 80% plus attendance on everyday basis. And I would give this credit to entire team. The teaching a child or transforming a child is a partnership between the school and home. I'm very fortunate. I have a great partnership with my team of parents that connect with the child is there. That mutual trust that my child is safe in the school, that has been there. That is the reason I say 80% attendance is there. But it was not that easy. Let me tell you, we prepared SOP or systematic operating procedures. I'm the convener of the committee from on behalf of Action Committee. So we worked out uh, how physical infrastructure upgradation is to be taken. For example, foot operated taps, foot operated sanitizer, this thing. Then social distancing in the classroom, not more than 14 children in a classroom. Then ensuring that every child, like the parents said it, whether children will wear the mask or not, whether children will sanitize themselves or not, how do they take precaution. This is all, in building the confidence that would come through connect with the child. We had a number of orientation program before the reopening of school. I had a training program for my team of teachers. I had training program for the parents, and also I had training program for my senior children, where I shared with them what do I expect from them when they come to school. Probably these orientation helped me a lot in having such a system.
Okay. I'd like to bring in Ms. Luthra here. Ms. Luthra, again, tell us about your experience. What has worked for you, and what are the key challenges in announcing schools as well?
We all know that children, the type of stress children have gone through,
Yeah.
children and all adults. We know that many families have lost their businesses. So, see, keeping all the everything in mind, I feel the tailor-made possibilities we'll have to frame for all the children in this school. And it has been quite positive when we received the students in this school. Around 70% of my children, they are coming and they've all settled within the system. Everybody, I'm telling you, as far as practicals are concerned, they are very much bothered about their things. They all know their plans, what is to be done, how to be conducted. Everything is so much planned. So children, they're not finding it difficult and they're quite easy into the system. So
Sure.
I would say the type of SOPs designed by Dr. Hassija and the whole team, it was so remarkable that we could fit in our system, and everybody, I'm telling you, we have forwarded a proper video of the whole thing, how the school had prepared, and parents were also cool seeing those video, and I didn't face any problem in bringing the students to the school. So I'm happy for that. Thank you so much.
But for this,
Can
yes.
I just add a line here? We had even prepared a virtual tour of the school and circulated to all the parents that this is a virtual tour you can see, and this is to be followed by every child. Probably that helped a lot in building that confidence and
I think we lost connection. So I mean, I'll uh, uh, yes, Dr. Hassija, would you like to continue?
I was saying that virtual tour helped a
Yes.
lot in building that confidence. There have been cases like Miss Luthra is saying some children were having a problem because of financial or because of physical loss at home. We
Right.
did accommodate, and I told all my teachers to connect one to one with every child. Again,
Mm-hmm.
though it is not compulsory, we are having 80% attendance, but still both online and offline classes are going on. We have
Yes.
upgraded infrastructure where every class has a standby where teacher fix the mobile and continues online as well as offline. Over to you, ma'am.
Yes. And Dr. Jyoti, Rishi, I'd like to bring you in here. Uh, we have, parents talking about the anxiety. This has been, am I clear? Audible?
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Yeah. No, so I'm saying that a lot of anxiety, as parents are preparing to send their children to school, last 1 year or so has been particularly hard. There's some families which have been financially affected. Children have been staying in homes, and I mean, school was about social interaction, meeting friends, and all. And so, this has surely taken an emotional toll on both the parents and the students. So, what can be done to remedy, things like, students who are facing anxiety? I mean, what are the signs now that, they're getting to meet their children? What are the signs a teacher should look for? And, how can they have, interventions, timely interventions?
Okay, one thing I'll start with that mostly all the students are very happy with the opening of school. I can see their excitement and that zeal is there to join back school. But yes, there was some anxiety with the parents because they were little concerned as to will the children follow the COVID appropriate norm or not. But I
Yeah.
think a lot of efforts are being put by the school and little guidance from parents' side will definitely help them to settle down in a now when the schools are reopening. And a lot of awareness programs are being done by schools now. And how well a child will settle in a school, how well he will take the reopening part depends a lot on the parent also. Suppose if I am sending my child fully prepared, positively telling him follow the COVID norms and everything will be okay, because there's a lot of anxiety. I've seen some students little anxious also, because they would be facing the virus now independently. Till
Yes.
date, they were at home, under the parents' guidance, but now they would be facing it independently. So
Mhm.
little guidance from parents' side, and school, of course, is they are like doing 200%. I'm sure they're going to settle well in schools, but they
Uh,
all are very excited about it.
yes.
And as far as teachers are concerned, I feel that teachers need to be a little sensitive, and I think schools are working on it. They are holding. I've heard a lot of schools holding orientation programs for teachers because if I'm having 15 students in my class, like because limited students are coming, so maybe one child may be coming from a family had a financial crashing, or
Yeah.
one child must be coming from a family which recently lost a near or dear one, or that child must have seen his family member struggling for life, in hospital. So we need to be a little more sensitive and talk to the child. So besides academic, I think teachers should have a open conversation. What did you do? What did you learn? With a positive note, so that that thing is there, na corona that fades out slowly. The teachers should be talking about what new skill did you learn during this lockdown. क्या किया? क्या enjoy किया? सबसे
Mhm.
best करने में क्या मजा आया? So with this positive note, I think all the reopening will be fab.
Right. Um, Ms. Vats, since you deal with younger children, um, what would you say? I mean, right now, the schools have reopened in a phased manner, and it's only for the senior classes. But, getting younger children to school will be a big challenge. So, what are the precautions parents, teachers, principals, school authorities must take, to ensure their safety, ensure their emotional well-being?
I think
Thank
as parents, it's high time, because if my child is in primary, he's in a junior class, I should start preparing him for that, okay, you would be soon joining school and you have to follow all these precautions. Because now I am seeing that most of the students, the small children, are at home, but they are not wearing masks or using sanitizers because they're usually at home. But now it's high time we
Right.
start preparing them. You have to wear masks. If you touch any railing or wall, sanitize your hands, keep washing your hands. So on those parameters, I think as parents, we can start working so that by the time they join, they are mentally prepared, to follow. Because all of a
Right.
sudden, without
Right.
preparing a child, if I send him to school, okay, now you have to wear mask, you have to sanitize, then maybe it's difficult. So we have to start preparing children for that.
Right. Right. What would you say, Dr. Yes,
Okay. Yeah.
Swati.
So thank you for the question.
Yes.
I think 4 points need to be kept in mind for the younger children when we are talking about children in the early and primary years. Number
Yeah.
one is we have to stop using the word social distancing. We have to start using physical distancing
Yeah.
because we don't want to socially distance them. This is the age at which they develop social and emotional development. So the
Right.
terminologies also that we use in the classroom, in the school, and at home needs to move from social distancing to physical distancing. Number two, as the two principals said that they did a lot of drills, etc. It's very important that the teacher and the parent have to be prepared for what to expect, because there is a part in our brain called the amygdala, and
Mhm.
amygdala is the stress center of the brain. And both in parents, teachers, and children, the amygdala is going to be absolutely heightened when children return back to school, because there will be so many instructions being given by the parent to the child. Don't touch this, wear your mask, wash your hands, constant instructions being given. Teachers are going to be very, very worryful that these young children, how am I going to handle them? What if they exchange their masks with each other? So the amygdala in all three is going to be in a heightened state. And the only way to calm the amygdala is with dopamine, which means with happy chemicals. So it is
Mhm.
very, very important for schools to do drills with teachers and parents to understand what is calm handling of situations, how to greet children, how to ensure that children are conveyed these messages in a very happy and comfortable manner, like using stories. I have written two stories, like The Lion and the Mouse, where the mouse teaches the lion about corona, and Goldilocks and the COVID smart bears. So it is very
Mhm.
important for children to learn in a calm, a composed environment about what to expect and how to deal with things. And the last point is We are also worried about the physical changes, the physical move. It's very important for us to also focus on the socio emotional move. Many of these children have faced despair in their homes during this time. Many of them have witnessed a fight between the school and the parent regarding fees. Many of them have lost a family member or have had a family member in the hospital. So it is extremely important that before we bring children back, especially the younger ones, we have a lot of talks with them on the virtual sessions by the teacher, what kind of things they will expect, what kind of things they will be there. And also for the very young ones, there is a lot of dichotomy whether they should wear masks or not masks. And Apollo Hospital pediatricians have verified that children below the age of 4 years should not be wearing masks. So it is very, very important that children who have asthma or children who have breathing problems, how is the school going to handle these children's wearing masks, etc., especially because they may have to remove their mask often. So their seating arrangements, without alienating them, how are we going to make these children feel comfortable both physically but socio emotionally also? So it's very, very important to understand that it's not going to be as easy as bringing the older children back to school. The younger children will require a little more help with socio emotional and with following the rules, but in a calm and much more fun manner.
Right. Dr. Hassija, what are the schools doing to handle the emotional situations like Dr. Vats talked about? What
See,
kind of sensitization have you had with parents, with teachers, the school
as
staff?
I was sharing earlier, it is the connect between the school and home. That means between the teacher and parents, between the teacher and the child, and the parent and the child. Unless these three are very, very strong, putting them in any challenge is going to be very tricky. We all understand that on the road where traffic is going, moving on the road is very risky. Still, we drive because we follow all the protocols. We have been trained for that. Similarly, COVID is one such pandemic, it's a one virus. How do we follow the protocol, keeping in mind our own individual abilities and our health condition that has to be taken in account? When I started this one, I knew number of parents. I had a virtual meeting, and everybody said, how do we ensure that school is a safe place for my child? Therefore, designing the virtual tour of the school came the first part. Then orientation of every teacher, how to connect with the child, how to even observe every child and find out if a child is having any sort of change of behavior, change of mood swing, and accordingly needful to be done. We have two special counselors who are every day talking to the children in the different group, again maintaining the physical distancing. One thing more which I did to and that was a very, very encouraging from the student point of view, which they felt very happy. We shortened the timing. Instead of starting at 8 o'clock, I started at 9 o'clock. Instead of getting over at 2, I said no, we'll get over at 1 o'clock. In between every day, I added one period of co-scholastic activities every day. It could be one day music, second day could be dance, could be third day aerobic classes, fourth day could be playing some fitness classes, but there is where nothing to share. Any equipment, any gadget is not to be shared. Every child is doing individually. And as Dr. Swati said it, marking the circle in the ground so that they are maintaining those physical distances. I was yesterday in the ground, met with this class 10 children which were having this aerobic classes, and I spoke to them. They said, sir, after induction of this co-scholastic period, it has given us so much of energy that fear has somewhere gone. Now we feel very happy. We are able to interact with the friends. Otherwise, sitting with a 6 feet distance in the classroom and only teaching was not at all a good idea. It was a discouraging factor. I think immediately 3 days later, we started this work. So, well being, emotional well being, is one of the very, very important factor. One thing more which I have done it, every day in the evening, the class teacher for 10 minutes through WhatsApp call connect with the 8 students. So in we have 35 students in a classroom. So in a week, Monday to Friday, she is able to connect. She connects with all, and this is happening right from beginning, right from April itself. So children are connected peer to peer, they are sharing, they are the laughter moments. This is a time when they are happy to share about their success, about their grievances, about their problems, about their challenges, and teacher along with the peer is trying to resolve those. This is a time for motivation, for encouragement, for inspiration. Probably these things helped a lot in ensuring the mental well-being, the emotional well-being. Over
Right.
to you.
Dr. Ms. Luthra, would you like to add to that?
Yes, I would say, see, teachers have really successfully played the role of COVID warriors. And now it's a time, now they are playing the role of a counselor and a mentor, indeed.
Yeah.
And the teachers will have to keep an open minded, absorbing issues of each child, dealing with each one of in a different, appropriate manner, whatever is required. So I feel teachers are really playing a marvelous task when the students are in and establishing caring and trustful atmosphere all around in the class, and labs are well equipped with all such affairs. So I feel teachers have done a tremendous task in this affair, and wonderful opportunity when we see that children are meeting with their friends. They know that what protocols they need to maintain, because everything has been explained to them through the virtual platforms itself. So children, they didn't find anything unusual that's coming on. Although wearing mask was a difficult task for them initially, but they are aware of. We have given the example of Japan, Korea, where it's a normal norm for them to put on because of the pollution. Now they have understood that this is a normal norm for the students to be there in the school this way. So, and if we see that teachers they need to give space to the children, and they need to speak to them again and again. Rightly pointed out by Dr. Hassija, the way he is doing marvelous tasks, and organizing various creative and engaging activities will definitely help teachers and the students to mingle up in their classes with all the COVID norms keeping in mind. And peer learning, I would say we have started that thing where peer learning is happening, with the senior students are dealing with the junior ones to the online platform itself and telling them, because now we are finding now it's their turn to come. Now they are making ready the other ones. Earlier teacher have made ready the senior students. Now the senior are making the middle one ready for coming to school. So I hope that we all together can bring a peaceful atmosphere and a positive things within the atmosphere. And ultimately, we are here for the students, and we need to regularly think of that school is a learning space, not a hospital where everything be stuck off. That do this way, do that way. I understand that these norms are to be spoken, but has to be spoken in a conducive way. So,
Right.
in nutshell, teachers, they are the counselors, they are the mentors, and they are playing their role marvelously.
Right.
That's it.
Yes. Ms. Bhutia, so did your child go to school? Has she returned to school?
APJ school have not started yet, but I would
Yes.
like to mention here, just Dr. Rajesh and Swarnima ma'am has said that definitely I have been a happy parent because I have seen teachers working towards this. Like it's an exemplary thing what teachers are doing right now. I have seen my child's class teacher. You won't believe she will be like talking to each and every child and making and always trying to make them comfortable with the current situation. And it is beyond the education and academics. Whenever she comes for a PTM, whenever she's in the class, she always keeps on communicating with all the kids. I could overheard sometimes, although my child wears headphones many times, but sometimes I could really hear ma'am like speaking to each and every child, how you are doing at home, how your parents, how the things are going on, how you are preparing for your exams, as my child is in ninth standard. So definitely, as sir said, ki socio emotional development or the care what we like need to take for our children as a parent and as a teacher. So teachers are doing their job as best I can say. I have been a very happy and satisfied parent if it comes to like APJ school ka jo experience I'm sharing. And as a parent also, I'm always ready to listen to my child. I think each and every child need an open ear to listen. without being judgmental about what they are speaking, because each child is unique and not the two children can behave in the same manner. Because I could see some children are quite fearful and anxious, at the same time some are very cheerful and happy and excited to go back to school. So there are different kind of mindset children are having, but the schools are really preparing well, and I'm really looking forward that my child will go back to school very soon and she will have a very good experience. With a positive mindset, we all are ready to send the child back to school. Yeah,
Yes.
thanks,
Uh,
Leela.
yes, Dr. Vats, one thing which this online learning has, one big challenge has been the digital divide. Not many parents and students had access to the devices that are required for online learning. And I'm sure it must have created learning gaps. Students must have not been able to attend classes for a long while. So now that they are returning to school, uh, how do you think the schools can get into giving remedy this situation?
Right. So you know what? A lot of parents faced a dilemma during this lockdown on virtual learning because there were not enough gadgets sometimes in the
Yes.
house. So, which means both the father and mother were working on gadgets and they
Right.
didn't have an extra gadget for the child. So, many schools I know worked out a timetable with the parents that we will do your child's session a little later when you are more free, or it will happen that teachers who themselves were working as teachers had a child in the school. Now, how do you have two gadgets where your child is also attending virtual and you are also giving virtual
Yeah.
classes? So, yes, it
Mhm.
was a huge dilemma. But I must say kudos to most schools for actually working around these problems and solving them. Now, the challenge is going to be that there is going to be click, brick, click, which means complete physical school has not started and will not start for quite a long time. It's going to be attendance physically on some days and virtual classes also happening. So, here again, a lot of coordination between the schools and the parents is going to be required, that if they have less gadgets at home, then how to work out the timing. Like certain schools did recording of sessions so that the child can watch those sessions later.
Yeah.
At certain days they expect they ask the parents to adjust so that the child can still get the social connect with the other students in the class. So it is
Mhm.
going to be cooperative learning between parents and the school. And that is also a very important part of socio-emotional development. It builds resilience when a child sees the adults around trying to find solutions to a problem that they are encountering. So it is
Mhm.
important that we don't give up, but we try to find solution for each and every parent. My heart actually goes out to the children in our government schools because the
Yes.
digital divide has been the most out there. And that's why, because I am a president of a early childhood association, we have
Mhm.
constant Facebook sessions happening since March, which are free. And we've also given a lot of digital devices to children where they can avail of these sessions free of cost in case the government school has not been able to cater to these children. So I think
Mhm.
in each one of us, we will have to reach out to those who are having a problem. The school will have to reach out, the parents will have to reach out. And this is the time to come together rather than have a division of opinions. It is this time that we have to clear this divide between us, for us to clear the digital divide that is there in our schools.
Right. Dr. Rishi, would you like to add to that?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. I think the gadget part was very important because I know couple of parents which they had those gadgets, that the internet and the broadband was there, but then they didn't knew how to solve technical glitches.
Mhm.
So most of the time they were, because even I am on online platform most of the time, and on and off there are issues which even I am not able to settle. So I can imagine some parents saying me that yes ma'am, though we have the gadgets, we have the technology, but then we are not able to settle those technical glitches. And another reason for technical this learning gap, I think definitely the technology part, I also feel a lot depends upon a child also. As far as online teaching is concerned, I think a child who is more self-motivated, who is more, goal-driven, he will be concentrating more and will get 100% out of these online classes. Otherwise, in a classroom setup, there are teachers who keep a 24-hour check that during that time to, so that your attention doesn't go here and there. So definitely learning gaps were there. But I'm sure as soon as school reopens, there will be diagnostic tests and school are going to cover up these learning gaps very soon.
Yes. Ms. Luthra, now that, yes,
Shivani, can I
Shall
add
I
a
speak
point
on?
here?
I had a question for Ms. Luthra.
Yes, yes.
Sure, please go
Yes,
ahead.
yes. Now that children are returning to school in the senior classes, what kind of assessments are schools doing to identify the learning gaps and to bridge them?
See, small formatives chapter wise has been already designed, and that has been taken by the teachers. And in the chapters where we find that they are lacking behind or the concept is not clear, those chapters are being covered up in the bridge classes. And
Right.
teachers, they are doing here also and online also similar kind. And the curriculum has been mapped with the learning outcomes. So the concept is being taught rather than the chapters. And the whole concept is being connected with the real life situations. Experiential learning modules are being shared with the students in which self-directed learning is happening rather than children. They're also understanding that whatever they were doing at home, they are understanding that something was lacking behind. Now they are understanding. So self-directed learning is happening, I would say. Now it has started, initialized. And children, they are understanding that how to cope up with those bridge classes, because whole part has been divided into 8 classes, and children, they are regularly coming for those classes. So and various formatives, as I told. So we have taken a major part. What we are thinking these days, that children are not habitual of writing. So
Yes.
special writing part is being given to the students so that when they face the boards or any of the examination, they are able to write. So with the help of small formatives, and then we are planning to, after 15 days, we'll be shifting to the summative assessments. They'll be prepared for the further boards that's coming on.
Yes. Dr. Hassija, would you like to add?
Yes, I would like to please allow me to add
Yes.
the prior question, digital divide. Let me tell you, being advisor to CBSE on ICT, I can say digital divide will always remain there. Why? Technology changes so fast that those who can afford the latest would be certainly outnumbering those who do not have. Also, like I'm from Delhi, where 25% of seats are reserved for economic weaker section. So you, as a teacher, you have to work out a way out in which you are able to help children learn. And I imbibed example from Caravan, a song recorder. You carry the song yourself. That's what we did at Indraprastha. Teachers recorded their small modules, and in a small package, this is a software package, sent to the children, those who cannot afford the smartphone, and they can play those small packet on the simple mobile analog digital device anywhere. They can listen to that. Secondly, when online teaching started way back in 2003, the first online session was taken over the phone. This was a between a person called Atul, who was in USA, and a village in Gurugram. So he connected on the landline phone and requested the pradhan, the panchayat, to fix a mic and a speaker, and 40 children listening at distance over the geography boundary, that international call, and learning that one. Same way, when I was sharing WhatsApp call, those who do not have the latest smart gadgets, and those who feel, economic weaker section, they cannot afford it. For them, Caravan like simple recorded this particular part, and also over telephone teaching will go on, because digital divide will remain there. Coming to your assessment, I believe assessment is much beyond the pen and paper test. Assessment is a performance. If a child performs in front of you on a digital platform. He performs a dance, he performs a song, he reads a news, he present to you a PPT. To my mind, learning has happened. Why to label a score, a number to the learning, that this is 33 out of 100 or this is 99 out of 100? I strongly believe that learning happens when you see a child change in behavior, change in learning outcome, indicates the learning has happened. Though every school has designed summative assessment, objective assessment, continuum assessment, continuous assessment, comprehensive assessment, but out of all, my request to our entire teaching community, do not focus on pen and paper. Let any kind of performance, any kind of presentation becomes a tool for the assessment. And it is happening. At least private schools are able to do very, very well. In the government school, like Dr. Swati was sharing, yes, it is a concern whether teachers have been fully trained for that or not. These are the things to be looked into. Over to you, Shivani.
Yes. Ms. Bhutia, so your child must have, attended these online classes for almost a year. Yes. So what were the challenges you faced, in terms of connecting with the school, getting the devices, making sure that, children are there attending classes, being attentive? Could you share some experience?
But say, Sivani, that by God's grace, I have been a lucky parent who has got a very nice child who has always been sincere. Samriddhi, my child's name, she is the one who is always ready with everything. Like she always settles before the classes start. And she's, you can say, the pet of her class teacher as well. She always keeps on telling something to Samriddhi. But yes, I have seen other children also of her age, how they are keeping always the video on. The teacher is always after them, please keep the videos on. And I feel sometimes they must be sleeping also, not in Samriddhi's case, because she herself child who is, जैसे अभी मैम ने भी mention किया था कि some children are very like self motivated. So I can
Right.
say Samriddhi is that kind of child. And with connection to the school, if I say APJ school have ensured that the teacher has personally called each and every parent, like, are you facing any difficulty in terms of connecting with the online classes, the experience of the online learning of the children? So I have also received a such call, and when I inquired with friends, they also said yes, we have also received same kind of call. And as I earlier mentioned, the class teacher is continuously speaking and communicating with the children on a very lighter note, on a very positive note. And school is also arranging some extracurricular sessions where the
Mm.
children can perform what is they are good at. Like it is
Mm.
like approaching them for a talent hunt kind of thing, you can say. Some children are showing some dance things, some are singing, some are presenting some slogans also. And even the
Mm.
class teacher came up with a very creative idea, like you have to make a slogan, and how you are going back to school. So go back to school के ऊपर आपको एक slogan बनाना है and you have to share. So such things like school were organizing on a very काफी frequently the school has done all these things to keep the children engaged positively, not only with the academics, other than that also how they are missing the regular school sessions, the physical activities at the school. So
Yes.
APJ school has made sure that the children are doing such things even in the online classes. And Samriddhi ke sath, I didn't face much hardship or difficulty. But my another one, like sometimes he keep the videos on and ठीक है mama, I will get up little late. And sometimes even they are not ready. ठीक है हम बाद में we will take a bath, we will first attend the classes. These things are quite normal. But when it comes to learning, when it comes to studies, when it comes to the emotional, socio-emotional development, or like जैसे अभी सबने बोला anxiety, fear, I'm like quite happy that my child is dealing with it very confidently and with a very positive state of mind. And I'm looking forward to the physical classes to start. She is quite excited equally to go back to school and meet her friends. So that's what I would like to add here, Shivani. I think.
That's great.
Shivani, I would like to add on. See,
Yes.
we have started the culture for class assemblies long back, and it
Mm.
was we were very happy to have all the students virtually also through the class assemblies, where each
When
one is
was
playing their
attending
own role.
morning assemblies, huh?
Yes, yes, morning
Yes.
assembly regularly. It's all theme based. Somewhere
Oh.
they learned about vibrant India, somewhere culture of India, whatever were the subjects that was really they portrayed in a very best manner. So
Mhm.
not only that way, but other things, MUNs, various cultural activities, everything children they did through these virtual platforms itself. So it was a quite learning experience. I would say this has really brought blended learning into the system. Use of Padlet, class 4 child who was not aware about Microsoft Teams, even KG class child, he also started using those tools. So it's a remarkable thing for them to do so. So quite learning for each one of them.
Right. I have a question for you, Dr. Watts. The, the children who started a school this year, or who are in very junior classes, kindergarten or class one, for many of them, the interaction with their friends, with their teachers, has been via screen, and this is the age where it's not so much about academics. I mean, schooling is also about cognitive development, social interactions, just moving out of the home environment, or interacting with people who are not your family members. So teaching, or interacting with children online must have been particularly hard for schools and teachers. If they were to refine what they're doing right now, what would your suggestions be for them?
Nursery children, especially the 3-year-olds and the 4-year-olds, found it the most difficult because for them, they are used to sometimes talking to their grandparents on a screen. So many of them were used to video chats, and they knew that video chat 5 minute karte hain aur fir band ho jata hai. Now, this
Mhm.
was going on for hours, and a lot of schools made a mistake. They went on virtual learning for such young children for 3 hours, and
Oh.
that put off a lot of parents, and that is
Mhm.
why a lot of governments had to come down hard on these schools. Even we as an association came out with our guidelines. We studied what WHO has recommended, what American Academy of Pediatricians has recommended, and it's not more than 1 hour of video chat with children. You cannot teach them subjects on a virtual platform. These are young children, so
Yes.
guidance was given that involved more of stories, more of singing, more of movement, because these children cannot sit for more than 5 minutes at a time. So
Yes.
every 5 minutes, you will have to give them brain breaks where they can get up, move, do some actions, etc. Also, social development completely went haywire, because here you in school children learn about waiting for their turn, how to speak, how to make friends. On a screen, when you are seeing your other children as the size of a stamp, it's very difficult to understand expressions, understand emotions. So this definitely suffered, and that is why we told teachers to have one-on-one sessions with many children, and have small group sessions, which means where 3 or 4 children are there with the teacher. Have them often in a week, because then they will be able to see the faces more clearly. They will get a chance to speak. It's easier to wait for 3 people to speak rather than to wait for 30 people to speak. That kind of
Mhm.
patience, that kind of impulse control is lacking in very young children. And so
Mhm.
those who started their nursery with virtual learning will face a lot of transition issues when they go to school, because in virtual learning I could switch off whenever I want. I started moving around. I could move around the whole time when the whole 1 hour was going on. But now in school, my teacher will say you'll have to sit in one place. So a lot of transitional changes you will have to acclimatize these children to, and that is where the role of the teacher and the parent will come in. We will need to use a lot more understanding than patience, because patience has a tendency of running out. So you will run out of patience if you are only dependent on patience. It's very
Mhm.
important that you understand each child, and kind of adapt your classroom environment to that. I also want to add one more thing, that when these young children start coming to school, their teachers would be wearing a mask. Again, very difficult for them to understand, because on virtual learning, they were at least seeing the teacher's face. She didn't have to wear a mask. Now the teacher will be wearing a mask, which means half my face is going to be hidden behind a mask. So what we've told teachers is wear a big photograph on your around your neck of your own, a smiling photograph, because that's what doctors did during COVID time when patients required that face to face interaction. So these are children who are going to require some extra care and extra understanding for us to help them settle now into this new normal, which has actually become their normal. For us, it is the new normal, but these children have grown up now thinking this is the normal.
Yes, yes. Very good point. Dr. Rishi, would you like to add to that?
Yes, ma'am. Very true. As ma'am said, we need to start. We need to start preparing them, give them a feel of the school. And as ma'am said, that right now they are not in the routine. They may be getting up at 9 or 8 or maybe 10 because they know they just have to attend a class which is just for an hour. So maybe we need to start building up that routine now. No, the child should now slowly start getting up at 8 or 9, and he should start. I mean, I think you can give him a activity. Okay, let's pack your bag. This will be your lunch box. You can have your breakfast in the lunch box. So we have to start mentally preparing him for the school, and I am sure he's going to enjoy it.
Yes.
The transitional phase will be slightly difficult, but once they are in school, they are definitely going to enjoy it. I see these tiny toddlers enjoying the most.
Shivani, can
Dr.
we add
Hassija,
here
what
something?
are your plans for bringing the younger lot of students?
Yes, I am fully ready. As I said earlier, that there is a risk of life on the road. That doesn't mean we stop walking on the road. We take precautions.
Mm-hmm.
When I started this online classes, as Ms. Luthra said, the morning assembly, parent-teacher meeting, one more thing which I did where every panelist is talking about, transition. I found that 6 upward children, we started from 6 upward initially.
Mm-hmm.
So I found them, children were not following the rules, not following the norms. So what I did, every class was for 40 minutes, 9:40, 20 minutes gap, 10 to 10:40, 11 to 11:40, 12 to 12:40. But then there was a request to all parents, and I wish every school has a parent like Ms. Bhutia. I am so happy to hear this one. What I requested them, that if at 8:45 you could give a sort of a bell that the school time is going to start. Number two, I requested all my children to wear at least the school uniform shirt so that it looks like they are in the school. Then I said, without camera, nobody. It has to be camera on. Every teacher would take the attendance, and those 20-minute gap before the start of the next, connect with the children who are having a problem, else it's a break time for them. It helped so much because children were comfortable, children were at ease, 40-minute class, but they were following the rules and regulation. Coming to the younger children, initially I started there only music, art and dance classes. I said I am having a yoga class in the morning at 7:30 for grandparents, and I appeal to grandparents, if along with your journey you can make your grandchild also get up and do some yoga. I don't want to teach the child, but I want him or to join yoga class. It started so well. Then I start in the evening 5 to 6:30. I said I'm having language book English conversation classes for Dada Dadi, Nana Nani. I said I'm having a vocal singing classes. I'm having a instrument classes. I'm having aerobic classes. I'm having a craft work classes. This only thing this brought is the connecting with the child. Then last third thing which I'll say, parents play a huge role. At school, we teacher normally used to play the role of a foster parent. This is the first time we requested parent to play the role of foster teacher. You act as a teacher at home, be my equal partner, and help me to ensure child studies a structure program. And I often believe, Shivani, in our Mahabharata, there are two characters. One is called Kunti, another is called Gandhari. Kunti was the mother, parent of the five Pandavas, and Gandhari was the parent of 100 children. Gandhari folded her eyes, because her husband Dhritarashtra was blind. So she also closed her eyes and she couldn't look after, and you see the fate of those 100 Kauravas. Kunti was fully involved into every child's grooming, and you can see we have role models like Kunti and Gandhari in our Pandavas. So every parent, like Shweta Bhutia is doing it, can do this, have it in the school. Believe it, every child will be a part of. Over to you.
Yeah, Ms. Luthra, would you like to share your experiences on how you've handled the junior classes, entry level, especially?
I would say we need to really, this type of scare that is coming in the children's mind these days, we need to first stop that thing. By in the form of stories or poems, we can just discuss the students. And so many sessions have been held with the counselor and teachers within the virtual platform itself. So children, they are quite friendly with their teachers. They know that whatever teachers they are telling, they are really understanding those things. And in the clear cut plan, uh, making the instructional activities in context of physical distancing, adaptation of curriculum, we'll have to do everything in a very playful manner, nothing like teaching and something like that. And as far as activities were concerned, right from the beginning itself until date, we are doing the activities, the parent and the child together, so that a parent is also aware of that what activity is being done for what purpose. And at home, sorting of seeds, sorting of pulses, small activities itself made the students understand that concept that they were not aware that they are being taught, but very in normal sense they are being taught. And parents are also learning that with the playful manner, how could children understand the concept so easily. And in the small things also, establishing health and hygiene behavior practices through a daily routine activities with which the protocols have been set to the parents that so and so thing has to be done with the child. So, example, normal waking up in the morning, then the way Mr. Dr. Hassija just explained about involving grandparents. Till date, all my classes are going on in the morning itself and the evening itself. And parents are the part of it, the yoga classes, dance classes, even. And after that, also, parents are teaching. And since my school is said to be the first SDG lab, even those activities connected with sustainable development goals, parents have taken up, and now they are going to present in the form of a whole SDG drama. And students did it, Ramlila also, Krishnil also. So parents have done, I would say parents have really supported us in all our ventures. And with parent support, definitely we'll be able to sail through to this very part also, bringing toddlers to the school. And partnership is really required, and they have done so much, and we are looking forward towards the parents again, that they are going to really bridge that gap between the school and the child, and child is very eager to come to school. And with this small uh, hand washing activities within the system, and using puppets, dolls, teachers are really making them students comfortable in understanding the concepts and bringing them to the school. So I'm hoping that integrating all those activities within the school system will definitely help all the schools to make the situation a normal one for the kids.
Shivani, can I share a video? Can I share a video?
It's difficult to
I this
connect.
is a this is a class KG child who came back last week to meet me along with her father, and she said, "Sir, why don't you open school for us?" I said, "Beta, these are the by the law, the government has to permit me." I said, "Anyhow, whatever you want to say, you record your voice and share with me." She has sent me a video. It's about 1 minute. If you want, I can share that one. It's amazing video. Class KG, 4-year-old child.
I'm not really sure. I mean, you could try. Uh, you
Okay,
know,
I just try in a
directly to
second.
person.
I just tried that. No, it is not allowing me. So
Or you
carry
could just
on.
tell us about it.
This is a girl whose father wrote a poetic line. Hello, yes.
Yes, go ahead, please.
This this girl wrote this when she came to me. So father came with this one. Can you see my screen, ma'am? Can you see
No,
my
sir,
screen?
no.
No,
Not yet.
I think it's
Yes, yes.
Lockdown,
yes.
lockdown. This was the famous talk in the town. We Indians presented a model of discipline and patience. The whole world witnessed and appreciated guidance. Now every place is unlocking by following each safety norm. So first of all, I want my school to reopen in its normal form. I want to meet my friends, teachers, and each my mentor. I want to interact and share my experiences, which I adore. I want to run in the ground and play on the swings. I want my teacher's pampering, which gives me wings. I know you are missing your school too. So what are you waiting for? Share your feelings through a video. Bye bye.
So this is a young girl, a 4-year-old. I said, you send me your emotion and tell your friends also to send me. So her father wrote these poetic lines and she sent to all the classmates that send it to the director, sir, so that he can request the government to open the school.
Right. So on this happy note, I think we can conclude the session. Thank you all for sharing your views, your advice, those wonderful anecdotes, your experiences, and well, thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much,
much.
everyone. It was a wonderful session and
Yeah.
really a very good topic to take ahead, and everyone will be benefited with this. And I have got a very good experience with such people. Really, a lot to learn. I got a lot of learning about parenting with this session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Salute to
Yes.
you. Everybody
And
stay
we
safe,
should,
stay
Thank
healthy.
you, everyone.
Thank you
yes.
Bye.
so much, everyone. In the end, I would like to say be positive and spread positivity. So,
Right.
looking forward to school to reopen soon for all the classes. Be safe, everyone. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Much.
Not corona positive, but the thought positive.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.